and is. He doesn't know anything about Ishvara. So the Jiva is the one who is ignorant about everything. A very peculiar thing also. Jiva is the one who feels he knows everything. This is a very ironic thing. So, why these three things Bhagavan talks about? This world, the Jiva, and Ishvara. Because these are the only three things to be known. Everything is included in these three things. Jagat, Jiva, Jagadeshwara. There is nothing else. Either you include all things in Jagat, or in Jiva, or in Jagadeshwara. Rarely speaking, all three are one and same, ekam advitiyam. Nana asti kinchana. There is no second thing. There is only one thing. One thing manifesting as three things. Like in a potter's shop, where he's using clay, if you go in that shop, you have an option to look at the variety in the shop, because he has made a clay dog, clay elephant, clay cup, clay plate, clay many things. You have an option to look. The option is you look at the various names and forms, or you look at the one substance from which they are all made. When you look at name and form, you say, oh, this is a nice elephant, very symmetric, proportionate. When you look at names and forms, that is what you keep on saying. That's why when you go shopping, window shopping or whatever, window shopping doesn't mean you go buy windows. Huh? Window shopping means you go and watch from the window then. Huh? So when you go there, you're looking at color, you're looking at fabric, you're looking at, price. Does it look Japanese kimono or does it look Indian sari? Whatever. You're looking at styles and culture, so many different things that time. So we pay attention to the outer names and forms. We do all the time. We don't pay attention to fundamental material. So human beings are caught up at the level of names and forms, and therefore we cannot see the one thing which is behind this universe. That is our problem actually. So either one of them, any one of them we study. If we study Jagat, we end up with Brahman. If we study Jiva, we end up with Brahman. And if we study Brahman, we end up with Brahman. But we don't study that. We spend our whole life studying Nama Rupa. So now, we'll study today now the level where we are. It's always best to start from where you are. In fact, that is the only place you can start. You can only start from where we are. So, where exactly is this Jiva? Jiva is in Jagat only. He has lost himself in this Jagat. So, we start studying Jagat. It is called a Kshetra. Everything which is the field. Now, what is Jagat? Let us study that today. Then we'll see Jiva, and then we'll eventually get to Jagadeshwara. What exactly is this Jagat? Bhagavan Shankaracharya in his Drigdrishya Vivek, he calls it as Nam Rupa Prasarana. It's all names and forms. It's a very, very interesting analysis now. So let us trace it very, very simply. Ekasmat Akasha Sambhutaha. Bhagavan, the Upanishad, Taitira Upanishad said, from that reality evolved Akash. Right? From the reality evolved Akash. I want you to keep reality here, Brahman here. Right? So from the Brahman evolved Akash. Akashat Vayu. Vayu Agni. Agni Rapaha Adbhya Prithvi. 5 elements came like that, right? And then you know you have studied in your Tattvabodh and different places, Vivek Chudamani. These 5 elements, they split and recombine by a process called as Panchikaranana. So, after the 5 elements split and recombine, combine with each other, now you have the space containing other 4 elements, air containing other 4 elements, like that. It is these elements which have gone into making this entire Jagat. So the Jagat is nothing but space, air, fire, water, and earth. Space, air, fire, water, and earth. But please see now, space, air, fire, water, and earth, they have all evolved from reality, Brahman, isn't it? Now, you know that when one thing has come from another thing, Gurudev said tells very simply, you all have heard so many times. This is the cause and this is the effect. The effect is nothing but the cause in a different form, isn't it? Curd is the effect, milk is the cause. But curd is nothing but milk in a different form, correct? Because the milk which was here has just transformed itself and is appearing here as curd, right? So if this Jagat is made up of space, air, fire, water, and earth, and these have come from Brahman, that means what? This Jagat is nothing but Brahman in a different form. That is all. So it is Brahman which has manifested as space, air, fire, water, earth, and then those space, air, fire, water, earth have recombined and all and formed all of these Nama, Rupa, how many various, everything. And if Brahman is infinite and is manifested as space, air, fire, water, and earth, whatever is going to be manifested in this Jagat will also be infinite. We see finitude. You see this thing as finite. That doesn't mean to say that it is finite. It means what you see and what is the truth. They are two different things. I'll show you how in every finite thing, inescapably that thing contains infinitude. You cannot escape, I'll show you. Atom is finite, right? So you take a little atom and you cut it in half, let us say. You throw away half. So now you're only left with half. This half which you are left with, you cut in half. You throw out half. Now you're left with quarter. So you cut this quarter again in half. Throw out half. Now you're left to 1/8. Theoretically, how far can you go down doing that? And the atom will never finish, isn't it? Theoretically, you can go infinite. There is no end. So what you see as finite also contains infinite. So now, since this universe has evolved, the Jagat has evolved from that, which is infinite, the Jagat also is infinite. It goes on infinite. Suppose you say, no, we go to the edge of space, way out there. And after that, what is there? Somebody said, nothing is there. What do you mean nothing? So vacuum. Let us say, the vacuum exists or not? If the vacuum exists, that means it is Sat. Sat means existence. The vacuum also is there. So there is no end. The vacuum also is part of the Jagat. The Jagat is evolved from the reality, and since reality is infinite, Jagat also is infinite. This is the first point about Jagat. Jagat has come from absolute reality. Absolute reality is infinite, and so Jagat also is infinite. How? I'll tell you. How you have to conclude that Jagat is infinite and it cannot be finite? Look here. If there is a rope and you see a snake, huh, it is impossible for a person to see a snake on half of the rope and see the other half of the rope. You see, half of the rope you are seeing a snake, and the other half of the rope you are seeing rope. Anybody can see? It is not possible that you will see snake on half of the rope, and the other half of the rope you are seeing clearly. So from here to here, it is rope, and from here to here, it is snake. That is not going to happen. Either you see complete rope or complete snake. There is no half thing. In other words, on the entire rope you see a snake. So on the entire Brahman there is Jagat. It's not that you see Jagat on half of Brahman and the other half you see Brahman. No such thing happens. There is a complete, means just as Brahman is Purna. That's why Purna Mala Purna Vidam. This Jagat, which we are seeing, that is also Purna. Infinite. Complete, total. So, first thing about Jagat then is Jagat is infinite, just as Brahman, because it has come from that, and the effect is nothing but the cause in a different form, and that has a very significant statement now. But the cause is Brahman, which is Nirakar, without form. That has taken form. Brahman has taken form. And how does it happen? Swatma Maya. By its own Maya power. It's very interesting. It is Maya power inherent in Brahman which is responsible for the manifestation of this Jagat. Now let us study that little bit, because Jagat is a product of Maya, inherent Maya power. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this Maya power now. Because we say, from that Brahman evolves space, air, fire, water, and earth. And that happens because inherent in that Brahman is a Shakti called as Maya Shakti, Maya power. Now, please see, we'll try to resolve a few things at the same time. We say Brahman is Ekam Advitiyam, one non-dual reality. If we say that Maya is his power, just now you said he's only one. So there is Brahman and there is Brahman power. So now you are saying two, Brahman and Maya. So that seems to be some contradiction. There is Brahman and Brahman Maya also. Okay. Second thing, in addition to that, we say it is that Brahman using his Maya power to manifest space, air, fire, water, and earth. That's why we say Swatma Maya, yeah, by its own Maya. So now Brahman has also become Karta, doer, and the Shastra says he's Akarta. Brahman is Akarta, non-doer. If he's using his Maya power to manifest space, air, fire, water, now he's become Karta also. So how are all these things resolved? Let me just give you an example. Then we'll come back to it. Study this example. H2O. The teacher asked that boy, what is the formula for water? He said HIJKLMNO. Because H2O. HIJKLMNO. H2O means 2. Number 2. Not HTO2. So water, the formula for water is H2O. So if you put under a microscope and you look like that, you will see an oxygen atom and two hydrogens attached to that, right? So one oxygen will be there and two hydrogen, like that. Okay. That H2O molecule has three inherent possibilities. That H2O molecule has an inherent possibility to be solid, liquid, or gas. Correct? Because water you can see in its three forms. Now, when you look under a microscope, do you see inherent possibilities? Looking under a microscope doesn't show inherent possibilities, isn't it? When the thing manifests as solid, then you say, oh, there was an inherent possibility of solidity in that. When it manifests as liquid, then you say, oh, there was a second inherent possibility. And when it manifests as gas, then you say, oh, there's a third. And in your experience, you see three manifestations of water. And then you conclude, oh, water has three inherent possibilities. But when you look under a microscope, you cannot see inherent possibilities. Inherent possibilities cannot be seen with our eyes. When that possibility has manifested, then only we conclude, oh, there has to be these inherent possibilities, isn't it? The idea is, under a microscope and you look, you see one uniform thing and you cannot see inherent possibilities. Second thing is, an inherent possibility does not dualize water. Water remains one uniform thing. The presence of an inherent possibility does not make it dual. It is still one uniform thing. And in the same way, in Brahman, the presence of infinite possibilities are there. In water, there are only three possibilities. Huh? In Brahman, which is still one non-dual uniform thing, how many possibilities are there? Infinite. Infinite means literally infinite. Infinite possibilities. I just told you, in water, when you look under a microscope, you only see one uniform water. You don't see possibilities, isn't it? So, and the presence of a possibility does not make water dual. It still remains one uniform thing. In the same way, in Brahman, the presence of infinite possibilities does not make Brahman dual. It is still one uniform Brahman. And that uniform reality, it can now manifest in infinite names and forms. Just like water can manifest in these three names. One is called as ice, one is called as water, and another is called as steam. It can manifest in any of these three forms. So also, and still, after it manifested as ice, water, steam, it remains unchanged. Because here it is H2, here it is H2O, and here also it is still, isn't it? So even though it is manifesting in various names and forms, it still remains H2O. Even though Brahman has manifested as entire Jagat, and not only this Jagat, Ananta Koti Brahmanda, have you heard? Infinite universes, infinite names and forms. It remains unchanged. It never changes even one. Water does not change in solid, liquid, or gas. Anywhere you look under a microscope, it will still be H2O. Here also Brahman is manifested as all of these. And the manifestation of a particular name or form of that basic substance does not alter or change the nature of that basic substance. The basic substance which is manifested in this universe is called as Brahman, and that is because of infinite number of possibilities inherent in Brahman. That infinite number of possibilities inherent in Brahman is called as Maya. It has the capacity or the power to like water has the capacity or the power to manifest as solid, liquid, or gas without changing, altering its fundamental nature. Brahman has the infinite inherent capacity to manifest as this entire Jagat, and not only this is what one possible Jagat, which we are seeing, which we are experiencing, is only one possible Jagat. How many? That's why when you look out in the sky, you see countless million trillion stars, and that is what we can see only. Suppose we go to one of them, we'll still see that many again. And we are living in one of those stars in this sansar, this Brahmanda, huh? And so countless, infinite in number. You have to start thinking about what it means to be infinite, because we don't think about that word. We are so caught up with finite. So that reality manifested as all of this without even the slightest of change in its fundamental nature, and therefore it is called as Avyayaha. Avyayaha means unchanging. Unchanging. When the rope appears as a snake, the rope does not deviate from its nature even in small wee bit. It still remains as rope. It may appear as snake, but that does not mean to say it has changed into snake. Water may appear solid, liquid, or gas, but does not mean that water has deviated from H2O. It has remained as H2O. Same way, that Brahman has manifested as this Jagat. And Brahman's manifestation has not changed Brahman even in the smallest bit. That is why, now science tells that matter or energy can never be created nor destroyed. Means energy just goes on changing its form, isn't it? And in the end, whatever energy you started with, it is exactly the same energy you will end with, isn't it? It is constant. It doesn't change. It changes form. And nama rupa, it changes. But it doesn't change. Same is still there. Constant. Like that. So that inherent power allows the reality to appear as all of this. So now when you think like that, if water appears as solid, liquid, or gas, that doesn't mean to say that water has any kartritva bhav in it, or water has any karta bhav. It's not a doer. Water just has an inherent capacity to be like this ice, and I'm still water. I can be like liquid, and I'm still water. I can be as gas, and I'm still water. So if I did not change, where is karta bhav? I did not change into anything. I still remain as H2O. If Brahman did not change into anything, just appears as, like when an actor who is a millionaire, he comes on stage and he acts like a pauper. He did not change into anything. He's still that millionaire, isn't it? He appears as a pauper on stage, but he's still what he is. Brahman appearing as Jagat did not change into Jagat, only appears as Jagat. An appearance is called as avabhasa. Avabhasa, an appearance. An appearance of a thing does not change the nature of the thing. When the actor comes and appears as a pauper, he doesn't change into a pauper. When the rope appears as a snake, the rope does not change into the snake. When when you're driving on the highway, here in these countries, when you drive on the highway, in way distance, if you look over there, you see a mirage. The highway did not change into a lake. There is only the appearance of a lake. change is only an appearance. Change is not a real thing, but we'll come back to that just now. Change is not a real thing, it's an appearance only. Yeah? An appearance, in other words, is not a change in a fundamental substance. An appearance is an appearance, that is all. It just appears like that. Now, that Brahman has appeared as this Jagat with Nama, Rupa. Those two words we have to study now. Nama, Rupa. I want you to study this. This thing is made up of stainless steel. Stainless steel. So it's a type of steel, right? In other words, there's steel molecules in here. Steel molecules that make it up. Steel atoms, let us say. Steel atoms. Now, there is, at this moment, there are three things here. One is Nam. Nam means cup. Cup is the Nam. Right? There's Rupa. Rupa means size, height, shape, and all of that sort of thing, right? There's Nama and there's Rupa. Shiny Rupa. Then, last, there's steel. So there are three things. Name, which is called a cup. Rupa, which is 4 inches high. Small, shiny, and steel. From the three things, we are going to remove only one thing. We are going to remove only steel atoms, right? So we take one steel atom and we keep it aside. We take another steel atom, keep it aside. So we go on removing one atom by one atom, and we keep all the atoms aside. So I am not removing Nama Rupa. I am only removing steel atoms. After you finish removing all the atoms and keeping it aside, now what will be left there? Nothing will be left there, isn't it? But I did not remove three things. I only removed one out of the three. But the other two, they disappear, isn't it? Because nothing will be left. That shows what? That really speaking, here, there is only one real thing. The other two are unreal things. Nama Rupa is unreal. If Nama Rupa were real, when I remove the steel atoms, Nama Rupa should have stayed there. Nama Rupa should have remained, isn't it? It means Nama Rupa do not have any independent existence of their own. That is why Nama Rupa is called Abhabhasa. Abhabhasa means an appearance. Nama Rupa is an appearance. An appearance always needs a substratum on which to appear. If you come out and there is no rope outside, you will not see any snake. It needs some substratum on which to appear. All appearance need a substratum. Second thing, the appearance is unreal and the substratum is what is real. So, in the case of the rope and snake, the rope is the substratum, that is called adhisthana, adhar. The rope is the substratum and the snake is the appearance. So between the two, one is real and one is unreal. The rope is real, snake is unreal. Here it is exactly the same thing. There is Nama Rupa, which is the appearance, and there is steel, which is the adhar, or the support, the adhisthana. So the support is the real thing, Nama Rupa is unreal. So when we remove the support, remove the atoms of steel, Nama Rupa vanishes. If they are outside, you remove that. Because everybody who goes out in the dusk, they see a snake. So for tomorrow you remove the rope. Nobody will see snake thereafter. Any substratum you remove, the appearance goes away. So in that there are two ideas. Every appearance needs a substratum. Second, the substratum is real, the appearance is unreal. It has no independent existence. If you remove the substratum, the appearance also vanishes. So now, exactly the same principle you apply to the Jagat. The Jagat is the appearance, it is avabhasa. It is made up of Nama, Rupa, and the substratum is Brahman. And between the substratum and the appearance, only one is real. The substratum is real, and the appearance is unreal. The appearance is all Nama, Rupa. And amazing thing now, the Jagat, how we all get caught up with this Jagat, and the Nama, Rupa, all the unreal things. Just like when a person sees the snake is not real, but he gets caught up with the unreal, and he shouts, screams, balls, and runs away, isn't it? And one man told me, see, that can lead to dire consequences also. I was reading some book of a fellow who went to see his first movie. He had never seen a movie before in the old days, 1930s around. And when he's sitting in the movie theater like this, and that screen is there, and that train was coming. That train was coming towards him. He got so scared he ran out of that theater. Nowadays, children are brought up with all of these things, so it means nothing. But for the first time, an adult person going to see this thing, and that train is coming, he ran out of that theater. He got so scared, ran out screaming. He went across the road without looking, and there was a pothole also. He broke his leg also. All based on what? Unreal, isn't it? Unreal thing. So, how the unreal makes the human being go? One fellow went to see Jurassic Park, you know Jurassic Park with that dinosaur. So when that dinosaur came out, this fellow ran under the seat and he hid there. He was hiding under the seat. So another person said, "Hey, yeah, it's only a movie. It's only a movie." That fellow said, "Yes, I know it is a movie, but he's an animal. What does he know?" How real we take it to be, isn't it? He doesn't think for a moment it is unreal. With this Jagat, we don't think that it is unreal. But when we study just now, Jagat is nothing but Brahman appearing in Nama, Rupa, and we told just now, Nama, Rupa does not add anything to reality. This Nama, Rupa does not add anything to that steel. When I remove steel, Nama, Rupa doesn't take away also. Doesn't add, doesn't take away. So I'm telling about the fundamental nature of Jagat. Fundamental nature, Jagat is nothing but Brahman taken on Nama, Rupa. Like water taken on solid here, water taken on liquid, water taken on gas. But nothing has changed. Now, that is the highest level of evolution of the Jagat. Jagat evolves in this way from Brahman through his power of Maya, appears as space, appears as water, fire, and all of this coming down like this, right? And then combination and recombination and all of these things in a very complex way. Now, leave that. Now you come to our level here, right? At our level, we are attached to Nama, Rupa, isn't it? Nama, Rupa only. See, when you see your spouse or your children or your mother or your father, right? That is different from when you see me or you see some stranger on the subway or you see some other stranger on the highway or whatever, right? Now let me just back up there a little bit and tell. The stranger which you are seeing, That stranger also, you go to Indian Independence Day function. There are so many other people there. But you don't consider those people just as you consider your own children, spouse, or mother, father, this, that. You consider they are strangers, unrelated. These people are my relatives. These people are unrelated. Like that. For a moment, you don't think that, oh, that person ate dal, chawal, sabji. My family ate dal, chawal, sabji. And so they are made up of the same thing, and I am made up of same thing. That person is made up of space, air, fire, water, earth, and there are no two types of space. There's only one space. No two types of air, one air. They are made up of same five elements. I am made up of same five elements. My whole family is made up. All that go out the window. Right? When I see this Nama Rupa, this is my beta, my mother, my father. So the Nama Rupa is what is important to us. Forget about dal, chawal, face, air, fire, water, nothing. Nothing, none of it means anything. So Nama Rupa, because when I recognize this Nama Rupa is my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife, my mother, my father, this Nama Rupa. So where exactly does a human being live? At what level? Nama Rupa. And that Nama Rupa is the most superficial of all the layers of reality. That is the last layer, isn't it? From here, Brahman, that is the fundamental layer of reality. The Brahman Maya to manifest as space, air, fire, water, earth. The space, air, fire, water, earth now goes into the food, Annam. The Annam is eaten, the body, mind, intellect, everything is formed from Annam. And the last manifestation of all of this is Nama Rupa. And that last manifestation of Nama Rupa, that is the level we are living, isn't it? Nama Rupa. So, this Nama Rupa is spoken about in the scriptures, and it says you have to see Nama Rupa is just the most superficial level of existence. There are more fundamental levels. And therefore, the sadhaka has to reflect. And just now we're reflecting how Nama Rupa now becomes the last layer of reality and most superficial. Now, in this Jagat, we are living at that level, Nama Rupa. Now, see the other thing about Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa is coming and going every day. Isn't it? Look here. The space, air, fire, water, and earth which makes up this body. That doesn't come and go. When we die, they cremate this body. Nah? So the space goes back to space, air goes back to air, water goes back to water. What has gone? Only Nama? Nam stays for some time. In one generation, they remember. This place is called Peoria. How it got the name? Nobody knows, is it? So the name remains, and now you can connect that name to anybody or anything, isn't it? So Rupa goes and also Nama goes. And some other people come, the natives used to call it some different name. That name is gone. And do you think America is eternal or what? America is not eternal. In Peoria also Nama will go. So names and forms, they are all the time coming and going. What that means, it is called as Vyaya. The superficial level where we are living at, the name and form, they are changing. They come and go. And this is one of the most important things which the human being forgets in his play with Nama Rupa. Where we are playing with Nama Rupa, right? We are living with Nama Rupa only. We forget that it all comes and goes. It means the important thing then, the Jagat is changing. The Jagat is all the time changing at the level of Nama Rupa. Because I told you the space doesn't change. Space is space. The level of Nama Rupa is changing. Now see, what a wonderful thing. Jagat is all the time changing. Jayate, Jagata, Jayate, Tishtati, Vata, and Gachati. Jayate is born, stays for a little while, and Gachati. Means a form, a Nama Rupa is born, stays for a little while, and goes away. So that stays for a little while. When it's born, it stays for a little while. At that time also it's changing. But go on. Huh? So in this vikar, Namarupa vikar going on, there are actually Shat vikar, 6 stages which it goes through. But anyway, it comes and goes. That is just to sum it up. Huh? Now, our problem, Jiva's problem with that Jagat is, see here, I'll tell you. First of all, Jiva does not accept or does not pay attention to this change. He doesn't pay attention to this change. But Jagat will go on changing, whether we like or not. Second thing, whatever this Jiva wants to change fast, it doesn't change. And whatever he does not want to change, that thing changes. So the changing nature of the Jagat happens by its rules, not by my rules, isn't it? Jagat goes on changing by whose rules? Its own rules. So the Jiva does not pay attention to this change. Second thing, Jiva, since he doesn't pay attention, he doesn't realize that the Jagat will change by its rules, not by my rules. Third thing, now see, he comes. He doesn't understand any of this. He comes now, and then he demands that it must change in a particular way. But just now we told the second rule is it changes by its rules, not by your rules. So he wants certain, like I'll show you. He doesn't want his hair to go from black to grey. He doesn't want that change to happen. What? To change from one color to another color. He doesn't want to go from black to grey. But then what happens? Not only that the hair goes from black to grey, the hair goes. Full stop. One man went to somebody and asked, Doctor, do you have anything to stop falling hair? Do you have anything to stop falling hair? He said, yes, the floor. Whatever he wants, doesn't want to change, that thing change. He doesn't want to get wrinkles and doesn't want to get, so that change it. Then he goes for a facelift. They can lift, they say, somehow. And one man took 7 facelifts. Then he went 8th time. That doctor said, sir, we cannot give you any more facelifts. 7 is maximum. But we might be able to lower your body. Can't let it pay, but lower the side. So many things he doesn't want to change, but that thing goes on changing. And I told him, doesn't follow your rule, doesn't follow our rule. It follows its own. Second thing, whatever things he wants to change, that never changes. You know how many wives and husbands tell me all the time? Swamiji, since I married this man, he's same, he doesn't change. He's same. But since I married this woman, she's same. They have this habit and that habit, and the other spouse want that habit to change, but that remains same. So many things the government should change. They don't. The children should change, and children think the parents should change. But neither of them change. So we want everybody else to change, isn't it? And everything in this world to change. It should change like this and become like that, and it never changes. So both sides now, we get totally frustrated from both sides. disappointed from both sides. Because whatever we want it to change, it doesn't change. Whatever we don't want to change, that thing changes. That shows the two sides, that this Jagat is only following its own rule. We can't make rules for the Jagat. So the Jiva, this individual, has to realize this truism about Jagat. Jagat is, it is called as Nashwaram. The Sanskrit word for that is Nashwar, means all the time, dying, changing, coming and going, like that. Jayate, tishtati, gachati. Understand this thing about Jagat. First, that is nature of Jagat. Second, nobody has ever been able to change it. You can't do anything to change any of the laws. The Jagat has its own laws, not your laws. It comes with its own laws. Laws included. Now, this basic, simplest of things, Jiva does not study about this Jagat, and he does not know, does not understand, and so he goes on having his own demands, and he goes on having his own appointments with this Jagat. When you make appointment, there will be disappointment. Because I make an appointment with that thing, but that thing is changing. It is said you can't bathe in the same river twice. You can't even bathe in the same river once, because the river is fluid. So in the same way, we have to understand this Jagat. It is all the time changing, coming and going, and so don't make any appointments with this Jagat, because there will be disappointment. And then what we have to do, the Jiva has to now go down to the fundamental substratum behind this Jagat and merge himself with that substratum, not with Jagat. So Jagat is all the time changing, Nashwar, and that causes a lot of sorrow for Jiva. This detachment from this Jagat is what he has to develop. And that is why our sadhanas now start with things called as detachment. Viveka, Vairagya, isn't it? What we have been doing just now is Viveka. Whatever we did all morning now, that thing is called as Viveka. We're discriminating between the substratum and the Nama Rupa Prasadana. So this is called Vivek. This Vivek is now supposed to lead to Vairagya, detachment. Why should I attach myself to this Jagat which is of this nature? And there's no guarantee of anything. No guarantees. In something which is changing, which is like this today and like that tomorrow, can there be any guarantee? No. And you just see life. Are there any guarantees in life? All of you left your country, you were there and you came to this country thinking that I will be happy. Any guarantee that? That's why you keep taking 12 or 15 hour flight to go back every day. If happiness was there like that, you wouldn't want to go back, isn't it? There's no guarantee of anything in this world. No guarantee, because its nature is to change. The Nashwar, dying everyone. The second thing, that aspect of the change, every change has two aspects. One is, for some new thing to be born, some old thing has to die. For a new thing to be born, an old thing has to die. This is another aspect of change of Jagat. Now, at the same time, while we want the new thing to be born, we don't want the old thing to die. See, second problem is that we don't want any. Look here. The death part of change we don't like. The birth part we like. So see, you like the what you call the new thing. So that the birth of a new product in your house, but you don't like the old thing. The money is gone. We want to have the cake and also eat the cake. Have you heard? Have the cake and eat the cake. We don't want to give up one for the other. We want to have both. This is so many problems with Jiva in his relationship with the Jagat. So the death part we don't like, but death part is essential for the birth part. You can't have one without the Jata se hi dhruva mrityu. Whatever is born will die. Dhruvam janma kritasya, whatever is died will also be born. So in understanding the Jagat, we have to come to this acceptance of the. So first one I told you, Vairagya from this Jagat. But the very important thing which people forget about this Jagat is required. For that Vairagya to come, we require acceptance. Acceptance means what? This is the way it is. People don't want to accept that. So a big problem. This is the way it is. It will have birth, but birth is accompanied by death. It will have gain, gain is accompanied by loss. It will have victory, victory is accompanied by with defeat. All of the pairs of opposites. It is the pairs of opposites which is there inherent in the Jagat, which people don't want to accept. In this Jagat is called as Dvandva Sansar. This is the last point now I will tell you. Dvandva Sansar. Dvandva Sansar means what? Made up of pairs of opposites. Study this now a little bit. Jagat is made up of pairs of opposites. Second thing, there is no possibility whatsoever that you will only find half a pair. You can only find half a pair of socks when you want socks. That is the only time you find half a pair. But in Jagat, there is no such thing as half a pair. One fellow came wearing one black sock and one white socks. So the other man in the office said, "Hey, your pair of socks, one is black and one is white." That fellow said, "Yes. And strange thing is, I have another pair just like that at home." But in this world, the Jagat comes with the pairs of opposite. And if the person first of all doesn't understand and doesn't accept that, he is in for a very rough ride. And again, see, we only want half of the pair, isn't it? One out of the two we only want. We always are selecting one side and rejecting the. That is not going to happen. The Jagat comes in pairs. And if you are going to live in this Jagat, you have to accept both. There is going to be health and there is going to be disease. There is going to be affluence and there is going to be poverty. There is going to be joy and there is going to be sorrow. There is going to be victory and defeat. There is going to be loss and gain. All the pairs of opposites, there is going to be life and death. All the pairs of opposites are going to be there because this is the definition of Jagat. It's called Dvandva. Dvandva. And the person who only wants half of that pair, he is deluded. That is called moha, delusion. The one who thinks that he will outsmart this Jagat, he'll outwit the Jagat, and he'll only take half of the pair. That person is deluded, and he is going to end up with only sorrow. Nobody can outsmart Jagat. Yeah. Some people think they can outsmart God also. What to talk of Jagat? One fellow went to God and he said, "Prabhu, isn't it true that a million years is like 1 second to you?" Bhagavan said, "Yes, million years is like 1 second." He said, Bhagavan, isn't it true? $1 million is like 1 cent to you. Bhagavan said, yes, $1 million is like nothing, that's like a cent. He said, Prabhu, give me a cent now. Bhagavan said, wait a second now. I give it. No problem, I shall certainly. So, this Jagat is such, nobody can outwit this. Do you know? You could never come out of this world alive. We can never come out alive. We are born in this world and we will come out dead. Because the two go together. Like this, when I study, that therefore you know what our rishis told? That we are not in this universe which we are living. We are not seeking only to achieve joy or to achieve dharma or to achieve goodness. Because where there is goodness, there is evil. Where there is joy, there is also sorrow. Where there is dharma, there is also adharma. So sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. It means to say that we seek in Vedanta to go beyond both the pairs of opposites. It's called dvandvatita. Have you heard that word? We are not pursuing this half of the pair and rejecting this half of the pair and all of that. This is not the goal in Vedanta. Temporarily we may do that. Temporarily you may seek dharma over adharma. But our goal is to go beyond both dharma and adharma. Sukha dukhe same kritva. Labha labha. Jaya jaya. Beyond both. Nasat. Na asat. Tad uchyate. That reality is not called sat or asat. We are going beyond sat and asat. At our level we discuss sat and asat and all of that sort of thing, right? And we understand what that means and all. But the goal in Vedanta is to go beyond asat and asat uchyate. That reality is beyond both sat and asat. So Bhagavan tells in 9th chapter that the person will go beyond auspicious and inauspicious also. See, auspicious we practice, but our goal is not auspicious, because where there is auspicious, wherever there is any one of the half of the pair, the other half is working right there. You have not thought about it, huh? See, puja, auspicious or inauspicious? Hare Rama, it is auspicious, huh? But I tell you, when you burn incense, you're also polluting the atmosphere, isn't it? And that incense is also made by little children in Bangladesh or Nepal. Child labor. So for you to do your auspicious act, you have to promote all this inauspiciously, correct or not? And transport it in big trucks and ships. They burn the worst form of diesel in those ships. You pollute the atmosphere like anything. When you demand agarbatti here, you purchase, when they demand has their supply, you are causing that whole chain to go up, isn't it? So you make all auspicious, but it is lurking right behind is all the inauspicious. You can't have one without the other. Whatever auspicious thing you may think, you can't have one without the other. When you go on offering milk, there are children in the world who don't have a morsel of food to eat. And here you are demanding milk to make your offering. So you are demanding, pulling the milk here, and then there somebody can get a mouthful of milk. Every auspicious thing also has right behind it some inauspicious. That's called dvandva. One cannot exist without the other. An atom cannot have only a positive charge. Not possible. Now see, when you start studying Jagat like this, two things I told you again. Accept this is the way Jagat is. Second, develop Vairagya from this Jagat. And this can only come by this type of Viveka, which we are doing. So study Jagat like this, reflect on it, and develop acceptance and Vairagya. First, this is it. Don't hope for it to be anything else. This is the way it is. Acceptance. Second, renounce in order to move beyond. Like that. Huh? Now, this is Jagat. Our time is elapsed, but we will continue this thing tomorrow. We still have to go to Jiva and Jagat, but we have time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari